We're living in a world filled with chaos, and it's so easy to be distracted as to what our mission and purpose is. It's ironic, but the day of Rosh Hashanah marks the creation of this universe, which was also marked by chaos. And within all this tohu vavohu, there was a flash of a piercing light that marked a new beginning. I'm sure that if there was witnesses at that moment, the naysayers would have said, "Why are you looking at this light? Focus upon all this chaos." But this was the moment of a genesis. When we reflect on this day of Rosh Hashanah, of where we are and where we're going, we need to look at a cosmic scheme. We have to realize that when we turn on whatever the news outlet is and we see everything falling apart, there is piercing light. And this past week, we had a moment, a flash, that will hopefully mark a dawn of a new era with the signing of a peace accord between Israel, United Arab Emirates, and Bahrain. It's probably no coincidence that on the first day of Rosh Hashanah, when we mark our beginning as people, as a nation, as humanity, the one reading that we choose is this relationship between Yishmael and Yitzchak, between the Jew and the Arab. And Abraham desperately wants to bring them together, but it doesn't work. But God assures him they will both go on their independent path, and they will both become great nations. And when they do, we'll have the merging of these new realities. We witnessed the signing of peace between nations, which was unfathomable. In the early 1970s, with the oil embargo, the Gulf states were the ones that pulled the world away from Israel. They were the ones that turned Europe and everyone against us. They were the authors of the infamous Zionism is racism. They funded hatred and terrorism against the West, but particularly against the Jewish states. But they are the ones that are pulling the Jew and the Arab back together today. We read about peace between great nations that have power. We read about peace of equals. We hear about peace with warmth, and we hear the words of the crown prince who speaks fluent Hebrew. Amid this great chaos, we have a flashing light, and we have to take pause and realize this is the dawn of a new era. This is not a distraction, but this is something which is very, very exciting. There's a story which is told in 1967 when the Jew was pulled back into Jerusalem, and they were weaving their way, the Israeli army, to try to find Har HaBayit, and they didn't know where to go. And they came to an alleyway, and there was an Arab cowering named Abdullah. And they turned to him, and they said, "Where is Temple Mount? Where is the Kotel?" And this man, Abdullah, pointed and showed them the way. This man, Abdullah, his name was Abdullah Schleifer. And he was born a Jew in New York City. He became a journalist, gave up his faith, and joined the Arab world. And there's a tap on his shoulder. It pulled him back. And he became a catalyst at the great moments of history, bringing his people home. It doesn't matter how far we've been. Sometimes history comes knocking on our shoulders. And even amid the chaos, there is a flash of light. As Bibi Netanyahu disembarked his plane, he said, "Haveinu shalom aleichem." Generally, that's assumed to be, we yearn for peace, bring us peace. But the words mean, we have brought peace. We have brought peace. Let us realize that history is coming knocking on our doors. Let us realize there's a flash of light and a great reawakening. Let us see the world in a cosmic way and realize what is distractions and what is the essence. And may God elevate us, make us appreciate what our role is in this great drama, and enable us to find our way home again. Shana Tova.